Imagine visiting the Magic Kingdom at Walt Disney World, a place where generations have marveled at the rivers of America. They've floated on the Liberty Square riverboat and they've explored Tom Sawyer's Island. Now, imagine all of that just gone. Gone. Disney just announced a new expansion at their parks featuring Pixar's Cars and Disney's Villains Land, but instead of using the blessing of size that Walt Disney himself once bragged about, they're bulldozing those cherished landmarks that we've all enjoyed, just to make way for some type of a corporate cash grab. Today, we're going to deep dive into why Disney's latest move has fans across the world upset and what it means for the future of the Magic Kingdom in Florida. I don't think it's a good future. Let's go. Disney's Magic Kingdom has been a symbol of timeless Americana since the whole park opened up in 1971. Frontierland, with its rivers of America and Tom Sawyer Island, is more than just a collection of rides, experiences, attractions. It's a tribute to a simpler time in American history. Walt Disney himself believed in preserving these pieces of the past, which is why he championed the creation of all of these iconic features. But now Disney's decided to demolish these areas for new attractions that are tied to the Cars franchise and the Disney villains themselves. And that sparked outrage, like I said at the beginning. It's a move that feels more like a betrayal, actually, than an expansion, because you get rid of one of the reasons why people go to the parks, to escape, maybe into the past, a place that seemed a lot simpler, and certainly is compared to modern times. And this isn't just about losing a few attractions. It's about losing the soul of the Magic Kingdom. The rivers of America, Tom Sawyer Island, the whole area there around Liberty Square are original features that have been part of the park's identity for over 50 years now. That's how old the parks are. They're not just rides, they're not just buildings, they're not just a boat floating on a canal. These are stories about Mark Twain and celebrating the frontier spirit of America. These are landmarks that essentially shape the Magic Kingdom, and reshaping it by destroying them would make the park almost unrecognizable. And this isn't the only area that they're willingly going to tear apart, and they're not just going to do it on one coast. And I think I'm very upset about just that. And I mean, it makes a little bit of sense because obviously Disney is competing with Universal Studios' new Epic Universe theme park that's set to open very soon, like in the next year. And the stakes are about as high as they've ever been. Disney, with this move, though, risks removing its unique identity into just becoming another mishmash of IPs. If you're familiar with the Magic Mountain theme parks, the Six Flags parks, you will understand that it just kind of will make it feel very carnival-y and not unique in any way. It will descend to the level, into the depths of just some old theme park that people will eventually lose interest in. If Disney wanted a proper expansion, as I mentioned at the beginning, there's plenty of room to add a fifth gate, which the argument's been made for over the last decade they sorely needed. Ultimately, right now for Disney, it's a race to stay relevant. And I don't think this is the right path forward, and I'm not the only voice in the wilderness here. Speaking of which, you're going to lose a considerable amount of wilderness as well. Let's look at this in a different way. So what exactly is happening? Disney plans to replace the rivers of America, basically pave it over. They're going to lose Tom Sawyer's Island, basically pave that over, just so they can get a Cars franchise area put in that you can go see in California. The attraction itself may be a little bit different, but that particular area doesn't look like anything that would fit into what you have in Liberty Square next to the Haunted Mansion. And the similar aesthetic of Frontierland will absolutely be erased. What made those two things work together is how close they were in our history and how complementary the architecture was at the time. Worse yet, this isn't the same Cars Land attraction that they have over in California in Disney's California Adventure. This one features SUVs, which fans will have no connection to. So it's a form of forced IP that makes little sense since there won't be a character that everybody knows and loves. And again, just shoving IP or something recognizable into a place doesn't guarantee popularity. And look, I have no trouble with a land devoted to a villains concept. We've been talking about heroes versus villains at Disney for a very long time. And we certainly could transform a space in Florida to build a theme park, a boutique park even, dedicated to heroes and villains. But putting this next to Frontierland, which will have no connection to it, as I mentioned before, makes no sense. Not to mention the fact that the deconstruction and construction time here are drastically increased. Why? Well, Disney did their level best to irritate the state of Florida, and they had their special district taken away and turned into SIFTOD, which actually governs what they can and can't build on the property. The question is, are they going to give their permission to destroy that part of the park? And if so, are they going to give their permission to create this very thing? That's a different game of chess than what we're really covering here today, but it's something to consider. This isn't an expansion, it's a deconstruction, as one longtime Parks fan put it. And the fans are not happy. They're furious. Social media is absolutely flooded with posts decrying this decision, with many questioning why Disney World would choose to destroy something so iconic when so much of the land has actually not been utilized for construction. And there's still several available pockets of land they could build on. Now, I will always do this. I will always play devil's advocate. So Disney might argue that the Cars franchise and the Disney villains have a broad appeal, especially with younger audiences who may not connect with the more traditional themes or the history of this great country, at least not with Frontierland or any of the other things that are offered there. They'll also try to point out that they need to evolve in order to stay relevant and up with the times. Well, if that's the case, then why did Disney go back in history for Main Street USA to bring you basically through his fictionalized version of his hometown, Marceline? Why? It's because when you step into the Disney theme park, you're stepping into another world, a world separated from our very own for an escape, to escape into the past, into the future. That's why these things are named fantastically. Fantasyland, those are fantasies. Frontierland, that was the frontier times. There's a reason those names exist. There's a reason that you go to Tomorrow in Tomorrowland, although not so much anymore. And again, playing devil's advocate some more, Disneyland itself has had numerous changes in its footprint and in its offerings. Of course, usually not taking something out to give something back. Do these changes that they're proposing honor the spirit of Walt Disney's vision, or is this more in corporate interest? And right now, I can tell you the fans feel like this is about profit rather than preserving the magic that makes Disney parks unique. In the end, this isn't just about a few new rides. It's about what Disney stands for ultimately, what the heart and soul of the company is. Are they the keepers of our cultural heritage, like they had been before, or just another corporation that's chasing the next big profit windfall? The decision to bulldoze the rivers of America and Tom Sawyer's Island feels like a step in the wrong direction, much like Tiana's Bayou Adventure. And they're basically turning Disney Magic Kingdom into a mishmash of movie franchises rather than a place where timeless stories can come to life and be there time and time again so that you can make family memories regularly. I mean, honestly, what do you think? Is Disney making a mistake here, or is this just the evolution of their parks? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And if you enjoyed this particular discussion, be sure to like, share, and subscribe this because sharing actually helps, and double check that you're still subscribed. If you want more conversation around this, I'm going to offer at least 2 to 3 more of these in-depth conversations about why Disney is pursuing the wrong direction, why they're becoming even more dismal Disney. So be on the lookout for those in the future. On that note, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, and until next time, see ya.